Hey, what's up, y'all? This is William, the Permaculture Consultant, and I've got a bit of a dilemma here in the garden. Right here is the potato bed, and you can't tell that any potatoes are growing right now. And this is one of the downsides of using the cover crop that I used and the methods that I'm using. So this is the potato bed, and way down in here, you can see there's some potatoes growing, and they're suffering kind of from being overcrowded right now. Oh, great, there's an ant pile. I didn't know that. But yeah, these potatoes are kind of suffering from being outshaded. And the issue isn't necessarily the plants being in such close proximity to each other. The issue is that the potatoes have no access to the sun. So it's not a competition of nutrients or anything like that or water. It's a competition for sunlight, which is really the main competition that you have to worry about when it comes to growing anything in this kind of manner, even in the food forest, especially silvopasture setting back there. What was I doing back there? I was opening up the canopies to allow sunlight to come down and enable grass to grow. Anyway, I'm saying all that to say that I've got to repair some shears that I got at an estate sale a while ago. The easiest way to clear that clover in that scenario with the potatoes growing in between is by using these shears over here. The downside of using these shears is that they're kind of in bad shape right now, but they were $4 at the estate sale. Where are they? Oh, they might be over here. I think I already put them over here. They're not in necessarily the best shape. See? $4. They're not that dull, but the handles are in bad shape, so we're gonna go ahead and repair these guys. I'm going to need some channel locks, maybe a file, some sandpaper, some clamps, also some handy dandy WD-40. I like Corrosion X, but I can't find any right now. WD-40 will work for now. And as you can see, these guys are pretty wobbly. The handles are loose on them as well. Like that's all play from the handle. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take these apart. So I'm gonna finish taking this nut and bolt off, everything that's holding it together. There is a bolt, a nut, a washer, and then a lock washer. I'm gonna go ahead and spray these, put these off to the side and spray these down with some WD-40. Just rip off a small corner of that sandpaper and give everything a nice little scrub down. This is 220 grit. I would prefer to use like 320 grit or something, but this will work for now. I'm just trying to bust off or bust loose any kind of corrosion that might be on these. There we go. That works a little bit better. You can see that. Here's what the before looks like. There's the after. Next, what I'm gonna do is take these crappy little handles off. There's just a little wooden nail that's holding these into the wood. Or actually, the nail isn't even holding it to the wood. The nail is holding this little metal ring that's around it. Now, it should come loose. There we go. There's that one. Alrighty, now with this file, I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper. Now I know this file is completely flat, right? So I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper and I'm going to wrap it around the file. And I'm going to use it to flatten the back of this blade over here. I'm going to flatten the flat side of this blade. I don't want to touch the side with the bevel too much because there's more angles to deal with. I'll work with that after. The first thing I need to do is flatten the back side. So in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and clamp it right here. And I'm basically just going to rub back and forth until I can see the entire perimeter where the edge is all shiny. So shouldn't take too long unless it's in pretty bad shape. There you go. You can see the entire edge is shiny, and I already did the same thing to the other one. So just keep rubbing back and forth, keep it perfectly flat until both sides are shiny. So, and remember, they're gonna be cutting like this, like the shiny sides are coming in contact with each other. You want them perfectly flat. It's a shearing effect, not just a slicing or cutting effect. Now these handles are pretty bored out and just generally suck. So we're gonna go ahead and replace these guys. So this is a piece of dried mimosa that I'm gonna use as my handle. It's not necessarily a hardwood at all, but I don't really need it to be like super heavy duty or anything like that either, because I'm just using it as like handles for this shear. So I went ahead and marked the length that I'm gonna need, but I'm gonna put it in my vise and start cutting it up. Remember, it doesn't have to be anything pretty, it just needs to work. This was a $4 pair over at an estate sale. There we go. We want, remember, a nice snug fit, so that way we can tap it into place the rest of the way. And I'm just gonna friction fit these. I'm not gonna use any epoxy or anything like that. It is a pretty tight fit. So yeah, I won't worry about, I'm just cutting clover with it. I'm not like pruning trees or anything like that. So there's one, and I got it fitted all the way up to that point right there. Now that's far enough to start tapping it all the way in. Now, one of the issues also is that they were kind of bent incorrectly. So I got it clamped in the vise here, and I'm just trying to bend that handle back on really both of them. The handles were touching before the blades were actually closed all the way. So we'll see how that goes. Ooh, yeah, that seems a little bit better already. There we go. There we go. So now they close. Before they were like the handles were in the way, and there was a gap like that big in the scissors. But by straightening it out just a little bit, it can close all the way before the handles are touching. And now I think we can go ahead and assemble everything back together, and we'll go ahead and go test it over on the clover and see how well it works. So far, I haven't had to buy like any new materials for this thing. I already had all these things. Even the handle, like the wood, I just harvested off the property and then let it dry. I'll start it off tight and then I'll work back from there. That actually is almost perfect. Alrighty, let's see how well this works now. Oh yeah. This is so much better. This is the first time I've used, honestly, these shears, and I've not gotten mad. I think in this situation, those shears that I was using over there work just a little bit better than a rice knife. This, with the density of this clover and stuff, this rice knife has a tendency to get just a little clogged. But it is good at shaving away some too. So whatever your preference is, use one or the other, use both. I'm using a combination of both. What's cool about this rice knife though, is that you can actually hook it in there and pull back. Hook it in there and pull back, and you can get like right up against your potato plants and stuff. Yeah, you can just kind of hook it in right below or right up against your potato plant and then just pull back. Okay, never mind, I take it back. The rice knife is the way to go. This was so much faster than the shears. What was I even doing? I went and got those ready for basically no reason. And it doesn't look like my potatoes are doing too swell. They seem pretty white. I think a lot of the issue though is just being covered up from the sun. I think that's the majority of the issue. So we'll give them access to the sun, see if they start changing. If not, no big deal. I've got sweet potatoes in the ground, which are far more important to me. We've got some sunflowers in bloom already. They're in the sunflower bed over here. Now to some of you, that potato bed might look a little bit worse, but it is now, the potatoes now have full access to the sun. So mission accomplished on that. So I'm learning that there are some, I mean, there's just like some trade-offs depending on what you're using in the garden. Like if you're using this method, then you don't have to water. I haven't watered in quite some time out here, but you do have to maintain that cover crop, which is, this is the second time that I've had to maintain this cover crop. And if I add up the time it would take me to water versus the time it's taken me to clear this cover crop, it's taken me a lot less time to just clear the cover crop over and over again. So I do like this route. I'm curious to see how well it works in like the middle of this Texas like summer, like August. I'm curious to see how well this works. See if I have to water it all or if the clover is still around. The clover, we've had some hot days so far and the clover has not like been bothered at all. So yeah, that's basically it. I got the potato bed cleared. I got the shears fixed. So yeah, 2 birds with 1 stone. And yeah, now on to the next project. So hopefully you guys were able to find some useful information out of that. There was an update on the cover crop, plus how to fix some shears and sharpen them and stuff like that. If you have any permaculture Q&A submissions, then leave them down below with the hashtag permaculture Q&A at the beginning. And if you need any consultations, then hit the links down below. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you.